Philadelphia's like fourth in red zone offense. What makes them so effective with Hurts inside the 20 there?
Yeah, anytime you get close to the red zone like that, those dual threat quarterbacks can really hurt you. They can extend plays with their legs, and obviously receivers running open in the end zone there, find ways to throw them the football, and then obviously if nothing's there, he's able to beat you from sideline to sideline. So what a test for us defensively. We take a lot of pride in red zone defense, and that's going to be a big battle.
In terms of facing those mobile quarterbacks, you've had good luck with, Daniel Jones, Lamar Jackson, at least reining them in on the ground. Does that provide confidence heading into this matchup with Hurts?
Yeah, no, it definitely extends a lot of confidence. We've played a few guys now. Taylor Heineke, another one, and had some success there. But each guy is so different in the way that they see the game, that they scramble. Hurts is really special. The way that he does that. They have a lot of design quarterback runs for him too, and big physical quarterback, and he's able to decipher in the open field when to take hits, when to get out of bounds, things like that. So it's going to be a real test for us to make sure that we're on top of it, both rush and coverage alike.
You guys have had some more success against tight ends this year. You haven't given up a touchdown to a tight end. You had Dallas Goedert this week. So, what's going into what you guys have done against tight ends that has worked?
Yeah, honestly, it's really just been attention to detail. It's all 11 guys, and then obviously we're talking about coverage, but it's really all 11 guys, honing in on the key matchups that we have throughout the week. So we have, we're going up against a really good tight end like we are this week. You got to know where he is, and sometimes you got to hit him, but before the route even progresses, to throw off timing. You got to know where your help isn't, where your help is, and you got to be able to play with great technique, great leverage. And so those are just some of the keys that have helped us to become successful. And, the biggest thing with that is making sure that, that's the point, that we keep doing that.
How you handle success sometimes define a season as well as deal with adversity. What did you learn after the 3-0 start that maybe you didn't do as well, but now you can fix but do better as you head into the bye week looking for a 3-game win?
Yeah, I think defensively, it really comes down to not allowing the explosive plays. I think you look at the last two games, and there have been some chunks, right, offensively. There are a couple chunks against us. When we played Washington, there are a couple chunks when we played Dallas towards the end of the game, and so the teams are going to have chunks. It's the NFL, but it's the explosives that lead to touchdowns, right? The opening drive against the Raiders. There was a long pass to Hollywood Brown when we played the Ravens. Those are the plays that we got to eliminate in order for us to make offenses take the long field and have a great battle. And so those are the little takeaways that we kind of talked about defensively that I think are going to be the biggest difference makers for us moving forward.
Just what is it about that? Because in the last 3 games, there have been very few of the kind of deep passes, the ones that travel 20 or more yards in the air. What have been some of the keys that have allowed you guys to shore that up in the last 3 weeks?
Yeah, like I talked about, a lot of it is just, communication and making sure we're all honed in and locked in on the same things, week in and week out. There's so many things that change with what we do that, one little mistake and then a touchdown can happen. And, those are the mistakes that you got to eliminate. And, like I said, in weeks prior, I take full responsibility and those, being the leader, one of the leaders in the secondary. And so, it's my job to make sure that those are eliminated. And, we've been doing a pretty good job. We can do better. But more importantly, we got to keep this streak going of keeping those off our back.
What stands out about the way Caden has played in that dime role, not having to do it at all in training camp?
Yeah. He's just so smart. I think he handles all that really well. He sees really well, even from, close up at playing the dime position. And obviously it's an advantageous, spot for us to put him in positions to where he can see things really well and then make plays on the football. He does a really good job already as a rookie dissecting, route combinations and, where we're trying to be attacked and what the quarterback's, necessarily looking at as the game is developing. And so those are some of the things that I think is going to make him a great player for years to come.
What does Nate Hairston show you in his work the last couple of weeks?
Consistency. Nate and Kyle alike. I think that's one of the things that like I appreciate the most in guys on this team is like the grind, the stick to itness. Like obviously we all know what happened with Kyle and kind of taking some snaps, away, hasn't been playing as much, and then he comes in and has a heck of a game. He's playing nickel, he's playing outside corner, he's playing inside corner. I mean, Nate, the same thing, right? Like Nate comes in for a few snaps against Washington, key snaps, right? Gets a big pass breakup. He's playing excellent in the coverages that we called down towards the end of the stretch there. And then, same thing with Dallas. Like, hey, someone goes down, he needs to come in, he's plugged in, he makes a big pass breakup on 3rd and long to get us off the field. Like that to me speaks volume about how guys prepare and how we're doing the right things the right way. And we just got to keep that flow going.
There was a play on Twitter, one of the NFL analysts broke it down. You were blitzing, and you stopped kind of mid-blitz as Zeke fanned out, and you ended up taking him, and then Barron recognized that, and then he dropped. Is that my question? Is that an indication that you talk so much about communication at times? Is it that the communication is getting better, the recognition is getting better with the defense?
Yeah. Those, that's one of like a few plays that those things are starting to show up like on film. Not for other people to see, but like for us when we're going through, it's like, okay, we talked about this. Like, hey, it happened in the game, and we were able to execute it. To where we were able to get off the field. Those are the little things, like little communication pieces that I love talking about. And I think, Barron and Kenny have been doing a heck of a job for us at linebacker, and they make it, so much easier for us in the back end. And I think for our rush to get going because they're so locked in on their jobs. And it's been great playing with them.
Justin, you talked about how, after a loss, you have to wash it away, just start fresh with your mind and your body and everything. What about after a signature victory like this? Is there anything you kind of hold on to, or is it the same process of kind of compartmentalizing it and moving it to the next week?
Yeah, the same process, just like how you can't get caught up in the losses and what people are saying. It's the same thing. You can't get caught up in the wins and people patting you on the back. It's that just fine line of week by week, 1-0. That we've been preaching, and so this is going to be a really good test for our team. I mean, we need to just empty the tank these next 5 days, knowing that the bye week's right around the corner, and hit the bye going into it 6-4. That's what's important.
Justin, I know there's been a lot of talk around the league about the taunting penalties this year. And I was just wondering, from your perspective as somebody that has a voice around the league, what's been your thoughts on that this year?
Yeah, I've given it a lot of thought. I want to be, I guess, like careful with my words, but I saw a clip not too long ago. I think it was Ryan Clark. I don't know how many have saw it, but he basically just said like there needs to be like a defined description on like what actually the taunting penalty is. Like there's like so much gray. Like if I look at the other team's sideline and don't say anything, is that taunting? If I make a gesture in the general vicinity, is that taunting? Like there needs to be just like a defined description of like what it is and what it isn't. And I think that might be able to like clear a lot of it up. But at the same time, he talked about how I've worked my whole week for like the one big play that I'm going to make, right? Like I think about, the play that I think it was Cassius Marsh made against the Steelers. He had that sack, and he's doing his little signature leg kick flip or whatever, and he happened to be looking at the Steelers sideline, like, and then the altercation with the ref and the flag was thrown. But like, you work all week for like that one play, like to make a big interception, a big sack, and of course there's going to be emotion behind it. And there's obviously egregious times where you can tell it's like directly, just like an illegal hit the hits that were taken away. Like you can tell when a guy is actually trying to hurt somebody as opposed to just trying to make a football hit, right? I think it's the same thing with the taunting. You can tell when someone's like egregiously taunting the other guy, the other team, as opposed to like just in pure excitement of like, hey, my film study paid off, all week of the cryo, the hot tub, the cold tub, the needling, like all that stuff. All that stuff paid off for this big play that I made on Sunday. I think you should be able to show some excitement, but it's just fine.
So because it's so subjective, shouldn't they just get rid of it for the time being?
I mean, that's how I feel about it. Like I said, man, a lot of the times when you're out there and you can notice when a guy's doing something, to make a point to be taunting with it, whatever the case may be. But a lot of the times, man, you're just out there, you're making plays, and you get excited, and sometimes like stuff just happens. It's the game of sports. Like that's what we love, and I get to an extent, like what's being done, but not necessarily saying I agree with it at the same time.
Being so familiar with
Couple more guys.
being so familiar with the scheme and the position, of course, and then the player getting to work with him in the meeting rooms and on the field. What about Caden Sterns do you think has helped him be so successful as a rookie so early on?
I think it's just him being coachable. Since he's got in here, he's really just done such a good job of listening to coaching points from really all around, like myself, Kareem, the coaching staff, and he's just a put me where you need me and I'll get it done type of guy. And I think that's one of the traits that is like really special, especially when you're starting to make plays and, like I said, like just the same way of winning, like, people are patting you on the back and telling you you're doing this good and you're doing this well and this, that, and the other. Like, I think he's just doing such a great job of keeping his head down, grinding, and understanding that, there's more plays to be had and things like that. And so I'm really, I wouldn't even say surprised since I've gotten to know him so quickly, especially in OTAs, but I'm definitely like really happy for him, and I know he's just going to continue to keep doing the same things he's doing.
Jerry was saying that having the bow and arrow celebration, that the fine was when he kind of shot the arrow, but then by just going up short, it wasn't finable. I mean, doesn't that just show how weird and arbitrary this whole taunting thing is?
Yeah, and that's another point. It's like, okay, so description, bow and arrow, that's taunting. Like how are we? It's not like he directed that at anyone, like he's just having fun. He made a big play. Like, you just want him to get up, make a big play, generic point of first down and keep it stepping. Like that's what I love about football. That's what I love about the locker rooms. Like all different walks of life coming together and having a main objective of trying to go win a football game. Some guys do bow and arrow. Some guys do the first down. Some guys yell at the top of their lungs. Some guys have no celebration, like Kyle Fuller. It's just like you got different people doing different stuff, and you love that, right? And so I never take it personally as a player. Like if I see a guy make a play and he's doing his, I get mad like, like we got to be able to find a way so we could celebrate. So I like that bow and arrow thing is just, I couldn't believe he got fined. I thought it was a joke at first, honestly, but.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.